Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. And welcome to this week's Swift Slots mail call. So this is a summary of the items that I've had delivered to me in the post this week for viewing on this channel or for making in later projects. So let's get you on the bench and show you them one by one. Okay, so let's start this mail call with this very large 1/24th scale Volkswagen bus. Now this is a diecast model, so pay absolutely no attention to its body shape and pay absolutely no attention to its paint job, because I've got some very big plans for this bus in the very near future, and it does rather include these PU tyres that I've made, and as you can see they are huge. It also involves this extremely nicely 3D printed blown engine that I got from eBay. This is a pretty cool piece, and as you can see from the bus, it's quite big compared to the bus, and so are the tyres. So that is a project coming very soon. Okay, so next we've got this rather smaller version of the Renault Espace that I did in 1/32nd scale from a couple of videos back. Now this is actually a 1/43rd scale die-cast Renault Espace. Now I've got some plans for this as well, and it pretty much involves turning it into another 1/43rd scale slot car using my little conversion chassis that I make and sell. But this should be really nice, and this has got almost all of the detail that the 1/32nd scale resin model has that I reviewed the other day. Now this is going to be a really nice piece and a little sister car to the bigger 1/32nd scale model that I showed you from about a week or so ago. So this is going to be a really nice little project. This is quite a heavy little car, but it's really nicely detailed. It's just about as detailed as the 1/32nd scale, which is quite something, because that 1/32nd scale is also very detailed, and I can't show you the detail inside this car for a minute. I'll save that for the video. But there's also all the suspension geometry inside this car in the boot that you can see, and other bits and bobs, but I'll get to that in the video. Okay, so next we have this utterly bizarre Sidewinder in 1/24th scale. Now I actually saw this kit being built on another YouTube channel that builds kits. I'll put the link in this video, and he did a really nice job on it. Now there's multiple people that have built this kit on YouTube, but this particular one I saw really sparked my imagination, and to be honest, I'm actually going to copy his build almost entirely. Not to be a copycat, more of a complementary thing, because I think what he did with his kit really worked for this model. Now obviously I'm going to make it into a slot car, so it's going to be pretty cool, which will involve new tyres having to be made and other bits and bobs. I won't do it exactly the same as his, but it will be very heavily leaning in that. I'll put a video link just here. But this is a really cool piece. It's very 70s, and I think it's going to make an awesome looking oddball slot car. So there's lots of oddball kits, but I think this one will look really pretty damn cool. So that's coming up in a build at some point. Okay, coming back to the ridiculous. I saw this in a shop the other day whilst Christmas shopping. £2.74, so about $3 for these little tiny die-cast cars. I think they were really cute. I just think that they're so cute. That's how big they are compared to my hand. They're really small die-cast. I believe this one is probably supposed to be a Honda. This one I think could be a Ford, and this one I believe is a BMW looking at the grille. But they're just so cool. I saw them once when I was in the shop, and I thought, they're nice. And then I went back again about a week or so later, and they were still there. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to grab them. I don't care. I'm just going to get them. I just think they're going to be so neat. Little tiny little die-cast cars. Who knows what they're going to handle like? I've no idea. But it's going to be fun to try. So there we are. My three little micro die-cast cars that are just cool. Now, I make no bones about it. My most favourite slot car brand is ProSlot. Now, I don't know what it is about them, but there's some very charming simplicity about the way they make their cars. They're not the fastest, they're not the most detailed, and they're not the best handling. But I like them overall. They are my most favourite brand. Maybe it's they get the level of detail about right with nice solid things that can't break off. So those wing mirrors look quite fine. They're actually finer than a lot of the separately fitted parts that you get on other cars, yet they don't feel all that chunky or anything then. They're solid, they're not going to break, so you can drive these cars without fear of bits falling off. I absolutely love these cars. They go really well. So I grabbed this Ferrari. I've had a couple of these from my other mail call video, but this particular one, all complete, all ready to go, and I had imagined on repainting this whole one into a straight red and everything else, but as you saw from my other mail call video, I've got other cars that I could do that with. So although I had intended to repaint this car and turn it into a straight red Ferrari, I think I might just leave this one exactly as it is, because as you can see from the braids, she's absolutely brand new. Never been run, I'm sure of it. Super smooth drivetrain, really nice condition car. I got it for almost nothing, and then like 20 quid or something like that, really cheap. But I absolutely love this car, and I haven't got one of these in this condition, so I think I'm going to leave this one alone. Now, continuing on from my Pro Slot fetish, I've got this other car. Now I don't own this particular Porsche in the Pro Slot brand. I also don't own a brown car. So now I thought I could hit 3 birds with 1 stone. My favourite Pro Slot brand, one of my favourite cars being a Porsche, in a colour that I haven't actually got, and also a flavour of Porsche that I don't actually have in the Pro Slot brand. I think this UPS livery is really quite something. So brown isn't necessarily a colour that a car wears well, but I think this is a really nice example of where brown can really work on a car. So brown and gold, yeah, I'm all up for that. It's a really nice car. Again, this car is absolutely brand new. It's never been used before. Got it from an online trader, very popular one, and as you can see, absolutely pristine condition. Really nice car. So there we are. I might run some laps with this car in a future video. Not entirely sure, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's my second Pro Slot car. And carrying on my Pro Slot theme, I have this awesome Ferrari in black. Now, I was hoping to get the red version of this car, but the red version is about £65 or probably $75. It fetches a really strong price just because it's red. Now this one is equally as nice, but it's in the black, and I just think it looks really smart. Again, I don't have this particular Ferrari in the Pro Slot brand, so now I do. And the one weird thing about this car, it's weird and it's not weird. It's weird in as much as it's got a windscreen wiper that's completely flat on the windscreen, but it's not weird because it has a windscreen wiper. It's a bit conflicted. It's also nickel silver, which is actually a really nice inclusion. You don't see that very often in such inexpensive cars. These are like $20 this car, or £20. Really inexpensive, but extremely nice quality. You see they've got a lovely engine detail in there as well. You've got these nice moulded in wing mirrors here, which won't break off because they're all part of the body mould. Really nice wheels, really nice interior. Again, not too much detail, but more than enough to be making it look convincing. I absolutely love these Pro Slot cars. So they're not the fastest, they're not necessarily the best, but they're very inexpensive and very nicely made, and they do run really well. So this is a really nice example of a jet black Ferrari. Really like it, and a welcome addition to my Pro Slot collection. Okay, so continuing on with my 43rd scale theme, I absolutely can't resist an Aston Martin, and if you put it in a Golf livery, I'm all over it. I absolutely love this car. Now, I was going to buy it about 6 months ago while it was in the shops. It was about £25, and I decided not to buy it because I'd spent enough money at the time. But I thought about it over Christmas, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get one. Went back to the shops, all sold out everywhere, apart from eBay. However, on eBay, they're a bit cheaper, so I actually saved a few quid. So I'm quite pleased that I stayed away from buying this car. Now, I've got plenty of the other 43rd scale cars in sort of pre-made versions of them, but I haven't got an SCX version, and the reason that makes these ones special is because they've got a proper guide in the front. Now, those guides aren't necessarily the best. So what I intend to do with this car is change the braids at the least for a single braid in 0.2 thickness braid, and then add some weight, and then see what this car goes like around Crow Valley, and then start gently upgrading it and seeing if I can get this car to perform really, really well around Crow Valley just by doing some light tuning on it. So the other thing that I'm going to next do is I'm going to try and cut out all these windows and then create a vacuum formed glass for this car and then put an interior in it. And I think that will make it look better. I don't think it'll make it go any faster because there's not a lot of weight in this glass anyway, but it'll certainly make it look nicer. And also I've explained this idea to Harry on his slot car channel, and he likes the idea of it as well. So I've told him that if I make some PU tyres for this, a glass and an interior, I'll send him over a set as well. So I should do all my work on this particular car at some point fairly soon, and then I shall send all the bits that I've made for this car over to Harry, and then he's going to do another little video on his car and seeing what he can make from the parts that I send him as well. So there'll be a cool little sort of 2 videos, one from my channel, one from Harry's, and it will be interesting to see what we can both do with this, with exactly the same car, with a bit of mild tuning or a lot of tuning. We'll have to see how it goes. But that's my SCX Compact Aston Martin in Gulf colours. Oh, come on. You didn't think that I'd be able to do a mail call video without the inclusion of a Hot Wheels, surely? Look at this absolutely beautiful Porsche 911 GT3 RS. What a fantastic car this is. I saw this in the shops a few weeks ago and I absolutely fell in love with this car. The colours on it and the quality and the price, I just could not resist it. So here we are. Now, yes, I'm going to turn this car into a slot car. Is it going to be a good one? I very much doubt it. It's got a die-cast chassis, a die-cast body, all the detail to be getting on with, and it's very, very heavy. However, what I want to do is I want to retain as much of this chassis as I possibly can, because I want to see if I can get this car to at least vaguely perform. These tyres also are incredibly hard. They're not really even tyres. They're very, very plasticky, and they're not going to offer any grip at all. So I'm going to have to make a set of PU tyres for this car as well. So it'll have PU tyres, retain the die-cast chassis, it'll have a decent motor with some decent gearing, and there you are. So it'll be turned into a slot car, and we'll just have to see how well it goes. I don't think it's going to go all that well, but it'll be fun to try. So that's another project that will be coming up in the moderately near future. So there it is, all the little things that I've had delivered in the post this week for projects in the future. So if you've enjoyed this sort of content, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.